Everyone you meet is speaking two languages, the one you hear and the one you feel. The second one is the truth. But most of us were never taught how to listen to it. We were taught to believe the words, to trust the smile, to accept the surface. Nietzsche warned that this is the greatest mistake we can make, because what you see is almost never the person. It's the character they've built to survive the world. But this isn't just another video with surface-level tips. This is a deep dive into human nature, broken into 3 transformative parts. Each layer we peel back will reveal something more profound. If you skip any part, you'll miss the foundation, and the lesson will be lost. So stay with me, because by the end, you won't just be able to read others with startling clarity. You will finally begin to read yourself. From the moment we're born, we learn that some parts of us are acceptable and some are not. So we begin crafting a character, a version of us we hope the world will love. But Nietzsche knew that this character is not a lie. It's a shield, and the real person is hiding right behind it. The most interesting thing about humans is that they are constantly, unconsciously, telling you where to find the truth. And this is Nietzsche's first great psychological key. 1. The first thing you must accept is this. You are never talking to the real person. Not at first. You're talking to their character. The friendly one, the tough one, the funny one. This isn't because they're being fake. It's because they're being fragile. But the character is a performance, and every performance has a tell. Watch for the moment their energy shifts. That sudden tension when a certain topic comes up. That is where the real person begins. 2. When someone points a finger, they are often describing themselves in a mirror. Nietzsche called this projection, and it's your most powerful decoder. The person who constantly complains about lazy people is often terrified of their own lack of ambition. The one who sees arrogance everywhere is likely fighting a deep-seated insecurity. We don't hate things randomly. The things that trigger an emotional, almost irrational reaction in someone. That's the map to their inner shame. 3. Words are a smokescreen. The truth is in the silence. Nietzsche believed that language was often a tool to hide, not to reveal. The truth lives in the pauses, in the subjects they avoid. When you ask a deep question and get a short, rehearsed answer, the silence that follows is the real response. Vulnerability is terrifying, and the places people won't go with their words show you exactly what they're protecting. 4. Be cautious around anyone who performs their goodness too loudly. The one who is always giving moral advice, always taking the high ground. Nietzsche saw this not as virtue, but as a will to power in disguise. Morality can become a costume for feeling superior. True kindness doesn't need a stage. So, when the virtue signal is blindingly bright, ask yourself, what is it trying to distract you from seeing? 5. The biggest lie isn't the one they tell you. It's the one they tell themselves. This changes everything. When someone says, I don't care. It doesn't bother me. I'm not angry. They aren't just lying to you. They are reciting a line they've practiced on themselves 1,000 times to keep their own pain at bay. Don't see it as deception. See it as defense. Their story might not make sense to you because it's not for you. It's for them. And the inconsistencies are where the truth bleeds through. 6. Arrogance is a wound wearing a crown. Nietzsche understood that the need to feel superior comes directly from a feeling of inferiority. The person who constantly boasts about their success is secretly afraid they haven't earned it. The person who belittles others is terrified of being small. True confidence is quiet. It doesn't need to compete. So when you meet someone who needs to dominate the room, look for the scared child on the throne. Using these keys isn't about judging. It's about seeing the architecture of a person's pain. When someone constantly talks over you, you now realize it may not be ego, but a fear of being erased. When you see someone's perfect life online, you may now sense the quiet desperation behind it. If you've ever felt that there's a hidden world beneath people's words, tell me about it in the comments. Let's talk about those moments of clarity. And if this is changing how you see things, subscribe. Because understanding the shield is just the first step. Next, we watch it crack. You've seen it before. That flicker in someone's eyes when their story is questioned. The nervous gesture that betrays their calm words. The sudden defensiveness that appears out of nowhere. These are not mistakes. They are invitations. In part 1, we saw how the character is built. Now we look for the cracks where the truth escapes. Nietzsche believed our deepest motivations are not the ones we announce, but the ones we try to hide. 7. Behind almost every strange human behavior is one emotion: fear. Why do they get angry when you're late? It's not about the time, it's the fear of not mattering. Why do they people please? The fear of rejection. Why do they ghost? The fear of intimacy. Humans are driven by a profound, often unconscious terror of loss. Loss of love, of safety, of self. So stop asking, what do they want? And start asking, what are they terrified of losing? The answer will explain everything. 8. Chronic criticism is not an opinion. It is a confession. When you listen to what someone constantly judges in others, they are telling you their life story. The man who despises weakness in other men is at war with his own sensitive soul. The woman who attacks another's ambition is mourning the dreams she was too scared to chase. It's never about the other person. Projection is a roadmap to the parts of themselves they have exiled. 9. Unshakable confidence is often a costume for deep-seated guilt. Think of the person who is always right, always composed, always certain. Nietzsche saw that this kind of rigid certainty often hides a profound regret or shame. They perform perfection because they are terrified of being seen as they truly are, flawed. Real confidence is flexible. It can be wrong. Fake confidence is brittle. It will break before it bends. 10. The human ego exaggerates to hide an inconvenient truth. Listen for the absolutes. The person who says, "I never get jealous," is telling you that their jealousy scares them. The one who insists, "I'm always honest," is trying to convince themselves of it. Exaggeration is like turning up the volume to drown out the sound of doubt. The louder the statement, the deeper the insecurity it's covering. 11. The more someone needs to control their outer world, the more chaotic their inner world is. This is a crucial insight. The micromanager, the obsessive planner, the person who can't handle spontaneity. They aren't strong. They are holding on for dear life. Nietzsche saw this as a desperate attempt to build a fortress against the chaos inside. The stricter the rules on the outside, the more terrified they are of what's happening on the inside. 12. The endless performance of happiness is a cry of emptiness. This is one of Nietzsche's most powerful truths for our modern world. Look at the constant broadcast of joy, success, and adventure. He saw this not as fulfillment, but as a desperate flight from inner silence. People who feel whole do not need an audience. They are the experience. The person who is always on, always performing, is telling you they believe they are worthless when the curtain falls. As you begin to see these patterns, the world changes. The intimidating boss is now a frightened perfectionist. The dramatic friend is now someone terrified of being abandoned. You're not just seeing behavior, you're seeing the source code. This is a power that leads not to manipulation, but to compassion. because once you see the crack in the armor, you can't unsee the person hiding inside. If you're ready for the final layer, get ready for part 3. We're going beyond the cracks and looking at the original wound itself. The final 6 truths will change the way you see humanity forever. You no longer see a crowd of people. You see a collection of stories, of shields and cracks, of characters and the fears that fuel them. But we're not at the source yet, because behind every fear is a pain, and behind every character is a child who learned to wear it. This final part is about recognizing the original wound, the deep, formative experience that echoes through a person's entire life. This is where true understanding lies. 13. No one is truly rational. We are emotional beings who use logic to defend our pain. You think you're having a logical debate, but you're not. You're facing their scars. The person who argues that all relationships fail isn't stating a philosophy. They are protecting a wound. People build an entire fortress of beliefs around the thing that broke them. So, stop listening to their argument and start trying to hear their injury. Ask not, why do they believe that? But, what pain made that belief necessary? 14. The true measure of a person is how they treat someone who has nothing to offer them. Don't watch how they act around their boss. Watch how they treat the waiter, the cleaner, the person who makes a mistake. Nietzsche believed that true strength is revealed in restraint. Someone who mocks the weak is terrified of their own weakness. But the person who can show grace when they have all the power, that is someone who has healed their own inner war. 15. The constant need for the spotlight isn't arrogance. It's a primal fear of being erased. The person who dominates every conversation, who posts every moment of their life, who cannot stand to be alone. They are not in love with themselves. They are terrified that if they stop making noise, they will cease to exist. The child who felt invisible becomes the adult who screams for attention. They aren't asking for applause. They are asking, does my existence matter? 16. Envy is just admiration that has been broken by insecurity. This is one of Nietzsche's boldest truths. People don't attack what they hate. They often attack what they secretly admire and feel they can never have. The critic who tears down the successful artist, the gossip who spreads rumors about the free-spirited person, they are not evil. They are in mourning. They see someone living out a part of themselves they were forced to bury. Envy is the soul saying, I want that too, but the ego replying, I'll just destroy it instead. 17. You are never dealing with just an adult. You are dealing with the child who survived. People don't act from their present beliefs. They act from their past programming. They are replaying the roles they were given. The person who had to be perfect to be loved becomes the adult who can't handle failure. The one who is punished for having needs becomes the adult who gives until they're empty. Their reactions today are echoes of a script written long ago. 18. A person's patterns are their autobiography, written in behavior, not words. This is the final truth that ties it all together. People will show you their deepest wound over and over again. The one who always leaves first, they're telling you they're afraid of being left. The one who picks fights, they're telling you that conflict is the only way they know how to connect. These patterns aren't choices. They are confessions. They are saying, this is where it hurts. This is what I'm trying to fix. Listen to the pattern, and you will understand more than any words could ever tell you. And now, take a breath. Because every truth we've uncovered, it isn't just about them. It's about you. Your shield, your cracks, your wounds. The journey to see others clearly is secretly the journey back to yourself. Nietzsche didn't give us these keys to make us judges. He gave them to us so we could become free. Free from being fooled. Free from our own reactions. And free to offer grace because we finally understand. This is not the end. It's a new beginning, a new way of listening, a new way of seeing. If this journey resonated with you, don't let it be a passing thought. Let's make it a conversation. Comment below with the one truth that hit you the hardest. And subscribe, because learning to see the world as it is the first step to becoming who you are meant to be.